let's go past the intro now and let's actually get to the real topics. And we'll just start off with the Switch Pro ideas. There's been rumors lately that there's been a Nintendo Switch Pro in the works, reported or not reportedly, but just rumors you hear at Nintendo and just like
Yeah,
people around and stuff. And just like mock-ups of like something like a double screened Switch and like just that kind of weird stuff. And like, I don't know. It's really confused me that like they would even consider doing some sort of style like that, like with a double screen, like literally like the picture that I saw, it was like double screen, but like normal Switch. It was like a diagram or something, or
yeah.
whatever
I
you
mean,
call that. I forget.
like a patent
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yes. That is what I meant.
Yeah. I mean, to explain like exactly what it is, obviously there have been Switch Pro rumors pretty much since I would say 2018, like early
Mhm.
2018. We've been getting like heavy rumors about that from credible sources. But then this all kind of came to a head as of I think a couple of weeks ago when the Nintendo Switch firmware was updated, and in that like code for the firmware, hackers and data miners found, I think, references to a new SDK or a new
Yep.
like something, a new Switch version, which includes the like two screens, which is a very interesting topic that I kind of do want to discuss.
Yep.
Obviously, when everyone thinks two screens, you pretty much assume that it has to be some sort of folding console because there's no real
Yeah.
reason to have a two screen console that doesn't fold. And everyone instinctively jumps to the DS style of uh folding consoles where you can fold it up and then both the screens are kind of facing inwards. But what if it was a Switch where like you see these incredible folding you see these
Phones.
incredible like folding phones, right? Where
Hmm.
you have like a big like iPad or like tablet sized phone, and then you can fold it to put it like into your pocket. What if we had something like that with the Switch? It sounds crazy, and I don't know if Nintendo would do it, especially if they would adopt it this early. But I guess the Switch itself is so like hybrid and so kinetic in the way that it moves. Like the Joy-Cons attach, detach. We take it all for granted now, but like if you think about it compared to the like any other console that exists, the Switch is very like movement oriented. It would not totally surprise me. It wouldn't be incredibly out of the blue if the next like if the Switch Pro somehow folded so that maybe you could prop it up kind of in a like if you're propping up two playing cards to make like a house of cards sort of thing. So that way maybe you could do split screen multiplayer without like being right next, like the screens are literally like facing opposite
Yep.
directions, so there's no such thing as screen cheating. I actually did a concept, I never told you about this, PJ. I did a concept trailer of this exact thing with a friend of mine, but we never ended up posting it, or I never ended up completing it for the channel because we did it for a project, something else we were doing. I forget what, but it was like more of like a it was supposed to be like a commentary on like how technology would like advance. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe it'll be an April Fool's upload for next year. I'm not exactly sure, but um, yeah. I mean, we talked about this folding Switch thing as if it was like a impossible, never going to happen sort of thing in this joke concept I did with my friend. But seeing this, two screen Switch thing, it's hey man. I mean, it's possible, and that's the interesting thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of a Switch Pro, I think like I don't know if that's what you think of it, like what it would be, but that whole concept just would not make any sense to me whatsoever. Because when you think of the DS, like all of the DSs had like stylus on it, and like if you had a double screen Switch, like and you had a stylus like that whole idea, I feel like is just like stylus oriented, like with the touchscreen and stuff, and like how wide the actual Switch is like compared to like the original like DSs, like even the biggest ones like 3DS XLs or whatever you call them. I think, I don't know,
Yeah,
I stopped following the DS after I bought my Aqua 3DS, but anyway,
yeah. I mean,
it's just
I
like a
agree.
weird concept for me. Like I think of like the Switch Pro, if that would be a thing, I think of that as like what your concept trailer was, with like it having to be required to be docked always, and it be like 4K, and like just like your concept, like that whole thing was just like good. And like the replaceable kind of whatever you call those
So, like
on the
buttons.
Joy-Cons. Yeah.
Yeah,
The replaceable buttons for like GameCube controllers or like stuff like that, and like actually release a virtual console, and release it during this next console gen, because like the Xbox had their event or whatever you want to call that the day we're recording this, and the PS5, I'm sure we'll hear stuff like soon about it. So I almost wonder if like that sort of idea with like 4K and all that stuff, like being in a Switch Pro being released like during this time to compete. And I know normally Nintendo doesn't like compete with like Xbox and PlayStation, because like Xbox and PlayStation's like release dates are always like almost the exact same. But like Nintendo has always gone their own way. Like you've said it best. Like I think last episode, or maybe even like a video we did before, and you were talking about how like Nintendo always takes like a step forward, but they also take like a step backward, if that makes sense, in some like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some things that they just do with their
Yeah.
consoles and games in general.
Yeah, I think that was I don't even know if that was a video. I think that could have just been us talking. But I said something along the lines of like I think it was in reference to Animal Crossing and
Mm.
how like that game, like it feels like Nintendo takes two step forwards. It like they take two steps forward and then one step back, or you could even say like two steps forward and one step like sideways. But it
Yeah.
never seems like they're just they can never just have like something that's, oh, that's really smart and I do not see any potential downside. Like Nintendo Labo. That was like a smart idea. Like on its own, that is a smart idea. But then you notice that they're charging $80 for it, and the mini games themselves are like half baked. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, it's one step forward in terms of innovation and creativity, but it's one step back in terms of who is your like demographic. Like, are you only trying to go for like the really little kids? Because no one over the age of like 9 is going to play these games for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to have a Switch Pro kind of idea. Um, and I remember this was like highly rumored before we got the Switch Lite announced. Um, but obviously the Switch Lite came out, which I think is like really great, by the way, just for like the Switch's like library of consoles, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was really good. I would just like to see a Switch Pro, because like docked only with that kind of like Xbox style, I guess, and PlayStation style, because like as of now they're not portable or anything. I don't
Yeah.
expect them to be. So I think that would be a good idea on Nintendo's part. Well, but
Yeah.
we'll see.